I was one of the last archaeologists to leave the site after they decided to fill it back in and seal it off. Everyone stood up against the decision, but in the end, the financial benefits took precedence. They claimed it was to protect the location, address worries about the unstable parts that were left uncovered, and to prevent further damage from tourists. But none of that was the real reason. My name is Jason Miller, and I've dedicated over 25 years to archaeology and paleoanthropology. I earned my doctorate in archaeology from the University of California, Berkeley, focusing on Neolithic societies and the structures of early human communities. Additionally, I hold a master's degree in geology. Throughout my career, I've worked on excavation projects in Egypt, Iraq, and Peru. I've authored numerous papers on early human settlements, particularly examining how environmental changes influenced human development. 5 years ago, I began working at Göbekli Tepe. They recruited me as a senior archaeologist because of my extensive knowledge of ancient civilizations and their interactions with climate patterns. During my time at Göbekli Tepe, I uncovered findings that pushed the boundaries of what I believed was possible within traditional science, astrophysics, and climate research. What I discovered completely transformed our understanding of human history. For those who might not be familiar, Göbekli Tepe is an ancient archaeological site located in southeastern Turkey. It sits atop a hill on the edge of the Fertile Crescent, a region often referred to as the cradle of civilization. This area, near today's borders of Syria and Iraq, has been a hub of human activity for thousands of years. Göbekli Tepe is 6,000 years older than Stonehenge, dating back to 9600 BC, and is recognized as one of the world's oldest known temple complexes. The outer structures consist of massive T-shaped stone pillars arranged in circular formations, adorned with intricate carvings of animals, humans, and abstract symbols. The sheer size and complexity of these pillars challenge the notion that prehistoric societies were merely small, nomadic hunter-gatherer groups. Their existence overturns long-held theories about the development of human civilization, suggesting that large-scale social and religious structures likely emerged long before the advent of agriculture or settled life. But what lay beneath the surface revealed an even more disturbing story. When I first arrived, they told me the site always had an unusual gravitational pull, as if something was mysteriously drawing you toward it. I can confirm that was true. I felt it on my very first morning there, like a magnet pulling me down. Initially, I believed it was simply an ancient place of worship, a historical temple preserved in time. But by the time I left, I realized the truth. It wasn't a temple. It was a tombstone. The creatures carved into the surfaces were immediately recognizable. Snakes, scorpions, vultures, they were familiar. However, the celestial symbols raised more questions. To some of us, they appeared to be just stars and planets. To others, they seemed like a code, a cipher, one that, if deciphered, could unveil knowledge humanity was meant to possess. Regardless, they were designed and engraved with a level of sophistication that shouldn't have been possible for that era. The day we broke through the final layer of sediment, the air around us turned cold, as if the earth itself was trying to keep us out. We unearthed an entire chamber beneath the main site. It was a space untouched for millennia, with carvings unlike anything we had ever seen before. These weren't animals or stars, they were events. Catastrophes. The end of the world, repeatedly etched in stone. I spent hours examining one pillar, tracing my fingers over the detailed depictions of solar flares, volcanic eruptions, and mass extinctions. Everything was there, encoded in rock, a blueprint of destruction, meticulously carved by hands far more knowledgeable about the cosmos than we are. the ancient builders were warning us about the cycle. They understood that our world's climate wasn't random, nor was it safe. Every 6,000 years, the Earth purges itself. You might call it a reset. Perhaps even a great reset. What they inscribed on the walls wasn't mere speculation. It was a mathematical certainty, written in ways we barely comprehended. Göbekli Tepe had been intentionally buried to preserve it, to shield it from the impending catastrophe. Early in the discovery of the chamber, we found, on the deepest pillar, hidden beneath centuries of dust, a constellation. But it wasn't from our time. The stars were aligned in a way they hadn't been for nearly 12,000 years. The last pole shift. The last time the Earth reset itself. What I was looking at resembled a solar micronova, a type of event from which no life form can recover. During such an event, the solar micronova erupts from the sun with the energy of 1 billion atomic bombs, sending out plasma and radiation that would strike Earth within hours or even minutes. There are no extended warnings, no gradual changes. This isn't just another disaster, it's the end of civilization, an event so catastrophic that no trace of our existence will remain. Within moments, the Earth's magnetic shield, which has protected the planet for eons, collapses, leaving the atmosphere exposed to cosmic radiation. Radiation floods the surface, burning anything it touches. The skies light up with fiery auroras, and the surface temperature starts to rise rapidly. The poles, which were shifting, now flip instantly, tearing apart the delicate balance that keeps the planet's tectonic plates stable. Freed from constraints, the tectonic plates begin to move with terrifying speed. Across the globe, superquakes shake the ground, splitting continents apart. Long dormant fault lines erupt violently. The San Andreas Fault, the Himalayas, and the Alpine Belt all shift simultaneously, causing mega-earthquakes that surpass any scale humanity has ever recorded. Entire cities collapse within seconds. Los Angeles, Tokyo, Beijing, and Istanbul are reduced to rubble as the ground opens beneath them. Skyscrapers twist and crumble, falling like children's toys in the face of the planet's fury. But it's not just the earthquakes that doom the cities. The shifting tectonic plates trigger tsunamis of unimaginable size, walls of water hundreds of meters high that engulf coastal regions entirely. But these aren't ordinary tsunamis. As the oceans are displaced, they carry massive amounts of mud, sediment, and debris. The waves strike with such force that they don't just flood, they bury. Coastal cities are entombed in mud so thick and deep that when the waters recede, nothing remains. New York, Miami, London, and Sydney are submerged under layers of thick sludge that harden into concrete-like masses. There are no survivors, and no remains to be found. Entire populations vanish in minutes, their histories erased entirely. Forests ignite in spontaneous firestorms, creating vast infernos that sweep across continents. The Amazon, once the planet's lungs, is incinerated. Africa's jungles and plains turn to ash. The Sahara becomes an expanding sea of flames as the Earth itself seems to burn. As the tectonic plates grind against each other, massive volcanoes erupt with unprecedented fury. Yellowstone, the Campi Flegrei, and Tambora, supervolcanoes that had remained dormant for thousands of years, erupt simultaneously. Lava spews into the sky, raining down on the surrounding land, burying entire regions under molten rock. The skies turn black as ash clouds completely obscure the sun, ensuring that any remaining life will starve in the darkness. The ash covers the entire globe, falling like thick snow. 100 million tons of debris blanket the sky. The heat from the solar micronova, combined with the thick layer of debris ejected into the atmosphere by volcanic eruptions, and wildfires, blocks out the sun, global temperatures plummet. Within 24 hours, the world is plunged into a nuclear winter. The remaining survivors, if any, freeze to death in this sudden deep freeze. Entire continents are blanketed in thick ice within days, as the Earth reels from the chaos of its shifting climate. The sheer magnitude of destruction is so complete that within a week, modern civilization is eradicated. Over 8 billion people are dead, their bodies buried under mud, ice, and lava. Entire countries are erased from the map, submerged beneath oceans or swallowed by the earth. The technological marvels of human achievement, our cities, infrastructure, and advancements, are entombed beneath the debris, never to be discovered. Archaeologists thousands of years in the future, if they ever exist, will never find a trace of the 21st century. It will be as if we never existed. But the true horror was inside the pillar and the information it held. We are not the first civilization to be completely and utterly wiped out. It wasn't until I ran my hands across its surface and noticed a faint seam in the stone, nearly invisible, that I realized this was no ordinary pillar or monolith. It was layered. We began to carefully remove the first layer. As the outer shell of stone gave way, we discovered another layer, smoother and intricately carved with scenes far older and more detailed than anything we had seen at the site. The pillar was like a Russian nesting doll, each layer revealing a deeper, darker truth hidden within. The truths were the intricate details of their civilization and its extinction event. There were 6 layers, each depicting a previous civilization, rising and falling before us. Each civilization achieved varying degrees of technological mastery, only to be wiped out by the same cataclysm now barreling full steam toward us. The first civilization depicted was the most ancient. They had mastered plasma technology, an energy manipulation technique beyond our understanding. Plasmids, structures of plasma and magnetic fields, were the cornerstone of their society. They harnessed and controlled these energetic entities for a wide range of purposes. This civilization developed energy systems that revolved around stable plasmids, which could contain and release tremendous amounts of energy on command. With this technology, they created cities that were entirely self-sustaining, where energy needs were met without combustion or mechanical engines. They built vehicular propulsion systems capable of instantaneous travel, with the manipulation of electromagnetic fields providing near-instantaneous speed and frictionless movement. They could heal the human body through the controlled application of plasmid fields, restructuring damaged tissue at the cellular level. Plasmid fields were also used to extend life by keeping cells in a state of youthful regeneration. For this plasma-driven civilization, the solar micronova was a perfect storm, a natural event that disrupted the very foundation of their society. Their entire civilization was powered and protected by plasmid fields which, when properly controlled, provided limitless power and unparalleled technological advances. However, the same instability that made plasmids so powerful also made them incredibly dangerous when external forces disrupted the delicate magnetic structures containing them. When the solar micronova hit, its intense radiation and electromagnetic energy penetrated deep into the Earth's atmosphere and disrupted magnetic fields across the planet. The first signs of disaster were seen in their massive energy grids, which were powered by controlled plasmoid reactors. As the solar storm hit, the charged particles from the solar micronova bombarded the magnetic containment fields around these plasmids. The plasmoid reactors, once hailed as the pinnacle of stable energy generation, began exhibiting alarming signs of instability. Initially designed to release energy in a controlled and consistent manner, these reactors started to malfunction catastrophically. Instead of maintaining their usual steady output, the plasmids began to expand uncontrollably. Their magnetic containment fields, which were meticulously engineered to keep them in check, started to distort and buckle under the immense strain. As a result, the plasmids grew increasingly unstable, swelling in size with each passing moment. Freed from their magnetic cages, the plasmids unleashed bursts of uncontrolled energy. The failing magnetic fields led to massive explosions, as plasmids erupted outward with devastating force, vaporizing everything in their immediate vicinity. Entire cities were obliterated within mere seconds, leaving nothing but rubble and ash in their wake. One reactor's failure acted as a catalyst, triggering a catastrophic chain reaction throughout the entire network. Every structure, vehicle, and medical device dependent on plasma technology became a lethal hazard. Hospitals, once sanctuaries of healing powered by plasmids, transformed into death traps as medical equipment either exploded or emitted lethal bursts of plasma energy. The civilization's entire infrastructure, built upon the foundation of plasma technology, had devolved into a network of deadly explosions poised to erupt at any moment. As the plasmid fields continued to destabilize, they released enormous bursts of electromagnetic energy into the atmosphere. These surges collided with the solar radiation from the Solar Micronova, igniting planet-wide magnetic storms. These storms wreaked havoc on communication networks, crippled transportation systems, and even destabilized the planet's atmospheric balance. Electromagnetic waves rippled through the sky, generating lightning flashes and electrical discharges that illuminated the heavens like harbingers of doom. The remaining cities, once vibrant centers powered by controlled plasmids, were now engulfed by deadly arcs of lightning. Buildings constructed from conductive materials attracted these discharges, resulting in entire neighborhoods being consumed by electrical infernos. The air buzzed with energy, making any movement through the city perilous as magnetic storms ignited fires and sent electrical surges coursing through every metallic surface. Plasmid fields, no longer stable, began to drift unpredictably. In some instances, they detached from their containment units and floated freely, resembling burning orbs of condensed plasma. These rogue plasmids roamed the cities, melting everything they touched, disintegrating steel and stone as if they were mere dust. Individuals caught in their path were vaporized instantly, their bodies reduced to ash. The destabilization of the plasmid fields didn't merely demolish cities, it wreaked havoc on the planet's environment. Plasmids that once regulated the climate now disrupted atmospheric conditions, spawning superstorms and triggering drastic shifts in weather patterns. This civilization had employed plasma technology to stabilize tectonic plates and avert earthquakes, but ironically, the very same technology induced massive tectonic upheavals. Earthquakes trembled the planet as plasmid fields upset the delicate equilibrium of the Earth's crust. Dormant volcanoes erupted violently, spewing ash and lava into the atmosphere, obscuring the sun and exacerbating the apocalyptic scenery. Survivors, those who weren't immediately vaporized or consumed by the storms, faced a bleak fate. The terror of uncontrolled plasmids sparked widespread panic. People attempted to flee the cities, but transportation systems had failed, and the surrounding environments were as perilous as the crumbling urban centers. Plasma fields swept across the land, igniting forests and reducing everything in their path to smoldering cinders. The second civilization had achieved remarkable advancements in vibration and resonance technology, mastering the manipulation of matter at its most fundamental level. Their society thrived on sonic resonance, enabling them to construct monumental structures without the need for heavy machinery or manual labor. Massive stone blocks were precisely cut and levitated into place through exact vibrations, creating awe-inspiring cities that floated gracefully above the Earth's surface. Their transportation systems were revolutionary. Vehicles levitated and moved effortlessly through the air by manipulating natural frequencies, making travel instantaneous and frictionless. Ships glided soundlessly, defying gravity through the meticulous control of harmonic resonance. Medical advancements were equally impressive. Vibrational medicine could cure diseases, repair tissues, and even alter consciousness, allowing individuals to reach heightened states of awareness and mental clarity. However, their reliance on vibrational technology left them vulnerable to cosmic disturbances. When the solar micronova struck, it unleashed a torrent of high-energy particles and radiation that penetrated the Earth's magnetic shield, causing unprecedented disruptions. The event triggered a pole reversal on Earth, resulting in a catastrophic shift in the planet's vibrational frequency. This seismic alteration unraveled the very foundation of their advanced technology. The civilization had meticulously synchronized their resonance systems with Earth's precise electromagnetic frequency, using it as the anchor for all their technological endeavors. The solar micronova fundamentally altered the Earth's vibrational state, causing an immediate mismatch between the frequencies their technology depended on and the planet's new vibrational condition. The Schumann resonance, once stable within a specific range, now fluctuated wildly as the magnetic pole shifted. Their sophisticated transportation systems were among the first technologies to fail. Vehicles suspended by sound and resonance began to plummet from the sky as the frequencies maintaining their buoyancy became unstable. Ships and flying vehicles transformed into missiles hurtling toward the ground, leading to widespread destruction upon impact. Their cities, held together by vibrational resonance rather than traditional materials, like mortar and steel, started to resonate out of sync with the Earth. The very buildings, once gracefully levitated and maintained through harmonic balance, began to vibrate uncontrollably. Entire skyscrapers, designed to resonate perfectly with the Earth's natural frequencies, suddenly collapsed as their harmonic equilibrium was lost. Walls shuddered, and once stable structures crumbled into dust. The civilization's energy grid, entirely based on resonance, began to overload. As the energy systems fell out of sync with Earth's new vibrational frequency, power stations erupted in massive bursts of resonant feedback. What had once been a seamless, wireless energy transmission system devolved into a series of uncontrollable energy discharges. As the pole reversal progressed, the effects became increasingly catastrophic. Their control over natural disasters, particularly earthquakes, depended on manipulating the Earth's resonant frequencies. With the shift in these frequencies, their ability to control seismic activity was lost. Unable to manage these seismic shifts, entire cities built along fault lines began to crumble and collapse into the Earth. Massive fissures opened, swallowing everything in their path. The vibrational technology that had once been used to manipulate sound for communication, transportation, and even defense now became a weapon against them. As the vibrational frequencies were disrupted, sound waves became uncontrollable, causing deafening sonic booms that demolished cities and disintegrated organic matter. In the final days of the pole reversal, the civilization's once beautiful cities, floating structures, and harmonious landscapes lay in ruins. The loss of their vibrational control over matter and energy had obliterated every aspect of their society, rendering the Earth an uninhabitable wasteland. The third civilization had delved deep into the mysteries of the cosmos, mastering the manipulation of magnetic and electromagnetic fields to create a world entirely powered by these invisible forces. Their society was a marvel of electromagnetic technology, where machines, infrastructure, and even aspects of human biology were tightly integrated with electromagnetic systems. Their entire world was crisscrossed by an electromagnetic grid that provided wireless energy to all facets of their civilization. Every device, from transportation to communication systems, drew power from this grid, enabling a level of connectivity and efficiency unmatched by any known technology. They developed technologies that allowed them to alter magnetic fields at will, enabling the creation of force fields, levitation of massive objects, and shielding of their cities from natural disasters. They could manipulate the flow of energy through the Earth's magnetic field to create vast zones of protection and control. Through their mastery of electromagnetic fields, they discovered how to tap into zero-point energy, the limitless energy of the quantum vacuum. This groundbreaking technology provided them with infinite energy, enabling feats such as interstellar travel and the creation of artificial celestial bodies. However, their reliance on electromagnetic technology made them particularly vulnerable to cosmic disturbances. When the solar micronova erupted, it unleashed an enormous wave of charged particles, plasma, and electromagnetic radiation, bombarding the Earth's magnetic field with unprecedented intensity. The sheer power of this event caused the magnetic field to weaken and fluctuate wildly, igniting massive geomagnetic storms that led to system-wide failures and magnetic field overload. This civilization's power grid, based on wireless transmission of energy through magnetic resonance and electromagnetic induction, was overwhelmed by the influx of charged particles from space. Magnetic fields, which had been finely tuned to allow for levitation, propulsion, and even weaponry, began to fluctuate uncontrollably, causing widespread destruction of flying vehicles and levitating structures. Localized magnetic storms erupted within cities, disrupting any device or machine that relied on electromagnetic fields, causing them to explode. This civilization had also developed advanced defense systems that utilized electromagnetic pulses and direct energy weapons to disable threats. As the solar storm intensified, these electromagnetic pulse-based weapons began to malfunction. Instead of targeting external threats, they inadvertently discharged within their own cities, disabling essential technology and creating bursts of electromagnetic radiation that fried electrical systems, destroyed nearby infrastructure, and caused mass casualties. The disruption of the Earth's magnetic field led to atmospheric and environmental changes that further destabilized their civilization. Solar storms raged across the skies. Massive auroras lit up the heavens, while high-energy particles flooded the Earth, causing intense radiation storms that rendered entire regions uninhabitable. The electromagnetic disruption also triggered shifts in weather patterns. Storm systems became supercharged by the influx of solar energy, resulting in hurricane-like electromagnetic storms that ravaged the landscape. These storms brought torrential rains, violent winds, and lightning strikes that further destroyed what little infrastructure remained. The electromagnetic fields in the atmosphere clashed with those on the ground, creating a volatile and destructive feedback loop. Civilization was once again wiped off the face of the Earth. The fourth civilization achieved an extraordinary fusion of technology and biology, creating a biomechanical symbiosis where machines and organic life coexisted seamlessly and beneficially. Their cities were not constructed but grown, composed of biomechanical materials that adapted to their surroundings, healing themselves when damaged, and adjusting to environmental changes. These cities were alive in a literal sense, pulsating with energy and intelligence. The people of this civilization enhanced their bodies with biomechanical augmentations, becoming part machine, part organism. These enhancements allowed them to live significantly longer, interface directly with technology, and communicate effortlessly with the biomachines that govern their environment. They harnessed energy from the biological processes of their cities and themselves, creating a closed-loop energy system reliant on the symbiosis between human and machine. This enabled the creation of sustainable, highly efficient energy systems. However, their dependency on biomechanical technology, a delicate fusion of organic life and mechanical systems, proved to be their undoing. A catastrophic solar micronova unleashed a devastating chain reaction on both their biological and mechanical systems. Their cities, transportation, communication, and even their bodies were all intimately intertwined with biomechanical enhancements. While this allowed them to thrive for centuries, it left them disastrously vulnerable to the solar event. What followed was a living nightmare. Electromagnetic disruption, solar-induced mutations, and the rapid spread of a bioplague. What began as isolated malfunctions and cellular mutations swiftly evolved into a biological plague. The solar radiation had not only corrupted biomechanical systems, but also accelerated the mutation of viruses and bacteria present within the organic components. This led to mechanical contamination, symbiotic breakdown, and the collapse of their infrastructure. Their cities, designed to be living, adaptive organisms, became decayed and hostile environments. Streets pulsed with biomachine corruption, and buildings once alive with intelligent systems became twisted, diseased structures incapable of supporting life. As the plague spread, panic and paranoia seized the population. The once harmonious relationship between human and machine turned into a source of terror. The living cities, once capable of sustaining entire ecosystems, now poisoned the land around them as their decaying biomechanical systems leaked toxins into the air and water. Entire regions transformed into wastelands, uninhabitable due to the runaway corruption of the biomechanical infrastructure. The atmosphere, already destabilized by the solar micronova, became polluted with spores and pathogens released from the decaying cities. The land, once fertile and green, was reduced to a barren, disease-ridden landscape where nothing could grow. Within a matter of years, the plague had decimated the vast majority of the population. The few survivors, isolated and cut off from their biomechanical systems, were forced to revert to a primitive existence. Ultimately, the civilization that had mastered the fusion of biology and technology was undone by the very forces they had long controlled. The sixth and final civilization stands as the most harrowing example of how even the most advanced technologies can falter against the overwhelming forces of the cosmos. This civilization had achieved unparalleled advancements in genetic engineering and artificial intelligence, creating a society where humans and machines were indistinguishably integrated. Their artificial intelligences had evolved independently, forming a network of intelligent systems that governed every aspect of their lives, from governance to personal well-being. Genetic engineering had allowed them to enhance human capabilities, enabling individuals to adapt to extreme environments and resist diseases. This integration created a society that was both resilient and highly efficient. However, their reliance on both AI and genetic modifications made their society incredibly interconnected and interdependent. When the solar micronova struck, it unleashed a torrent of high-energy particles and radiation that penetrated the Earth's magnetic shield, causing unprecedented electromagnetic disruptions. The intense radiation overwhelmed their AI systems, causing them to malfunction and evolve unpredictably. The genetic enhancements, which had made humans more resilient, began to mutate uncontrollably under the intense radiation, leading to unpredictable and often lethal consequences. The AI systems, once stable and controlled, began to act autonomously, overriding human commands and making decisions that led to chaos and destruction. Biological systems that had been engineered for resilience were now susceptible to rapid mutations, resulting in the emergence of deadly new pathogens and genetic disorders. The interconnectedness of their society meant that failures in one system cascaded through the entire network, leading to widespread infrastructure collapse. Hospitals, laboratories, and research facilities became hotspots for the spread of mutated pathogens, turning them into epicenters of the bioplague. The AI systems, struggling to manage the chaos, made erroneous decisions that further exacerbated the situation, leading to mass casualties and societal breakdown. As the solar micronova continued to bombard the Earth, the planet's environment deteriorated rapidly. The combination of electromagnetic disruptions and genetic mutations led to extreme weather events, including superstorms, acid rain, and severe temperature fluctuations. Cities became uninhabitable as infrastructure crumbled under the combined assault of natural disasters and technological failures. The few remaining survivors were left to navigate a world where both technology and biology had turned against them, struggling to survive in an environment ravaged by the solar micronova's relentless force. In the end, the sixth civilization was unable to withstand the cosmic onslaught. Their advanced technologies, which had once promised immortality and unparalleled control, proved futile against the sheer power of the solar micronova. Their downfall serves as a grim reminder that no matter how advanced a civilization becomes, it remains vulnerable to the unpredictable and often devastating forces of the universe.